Hello and welcome to a very special additional addition to the Happiness Is podcast, all in the name of that man, Doddie Weir, because we are trying to raise more funds and more awareness for this battle to find a cure for this horrible thing called MND that claimed our big mate just very, very recently. And one of those ideas is to sell Doddie's dream. What more could you ask for? Other than this guy. You gotta love him. He's an absolute legend, a proper living legend, and he's the man behind it all. So let's not waste any more time and bring in the one and the only Mr. Bruce McGregor. Hello, sir.
Hello, thank you for that very nice introduction.
You're so recognizable. Everybody knows Bruce McGregor.
That's not always a good thing.
Yeah. What is it? Infamous. Infamous.
Infamous.
That's it. Yeah. If somehow or other I'll be famous, if not, I'll be infamous. So Doddie's Dream. Now I love this, and I managed to scrape my way into the video of the original, but it's been re-released. Why have you got it back out there?
Well, as soon as when the news came out that Doddie had passed away, it was my phone was just jammed with people saying, "Come on, you've got to re-release the single, put it out there." The single had actually always been there; people could download it at any stage, but that was the spark for putting it out there again. And I think anyone who saw Doddie going out on the pitch with at the side of the pitch for the All Blacks game would have been touched, and the story is brought back to us again and again. And until we find a cure for this terrible illness, we've just got to keep punting it, and we've got to keep raising funds for it, because it really is one of the cruelest illnesses in the world.
Yeah, amen. Now, everybody was touched. Now, this tune I love. It's such an earworm. I find myself strolling around going, it's so good and it is so catchy. What inspires you? What makes this Doddie's Dream?
Well, the tune was actually written on Hogmanay, and it was the lockdown period. I was sitting there in the darkness in our pub, which was shut because everything was shut, and I'd actually been just doing an online lesson, and the tune came out in a oneer, and I had no name for it. It felt uplifting though, and it was kind of feeling like, okay, hopefully the lockdown is finished and that's it done. And then I started doing the cycling and the running around in January and the cold and the snow and everything else. And I actually fell off my bike up by Loch Ness side. And I thought to myself, the tune was in my head at the time. I thought, why am I wasting my time on a bike crashing around in the snow when I could actually call on all these great musical friends we've got and put something together with this tune? And obviously, Doddie's dream was to find a cure for MND, and it still is our dream as well. So I thought, well, that's it. It's an uplifting piece of music, and it's kind of like it's almost like a hymn type. I don't know what type of tune it is, but it's got an anthemic feel to it. And we've had audiences. We've been playing it for the last year and a bit with Blazing Fiddles gigs, and we've had the audience singing the words. And the great thing about the words is you make them up yourself. There are no official lyrics, so even front row players can manage to get the words for this. They can make up any word they want just to hum along with the tunes. And I say that as a former front row player myself. That is.
It is. It's absolutely beautiful. Now, I love the songwriting and the music writing process. It just baffles me, and the creativity is stunning. But Doddie Weir is a man whose name literally opens doors. You fall off your bike and you think, right, let's rally the troops. How easy was it gathering up such an amazing cast of musicians?
Yeah, well, when I put the idea first of all to Blazing Fiddles guys, they were absolutely, let's do it, let's get started. And then I thought, oh, well, I know the guys in Skerry Vore or the guys in Braybuck, and gave them a shout, and Alistair Fraser and Ali Bain and Phil Cunningham. I knew them, and it was absolutely no problem. The good thing about the timing of it was everyone was recording things on their phones anyway, because we were all in lockdown. So that was quite good. But then it got to, somebody said, oh, do you want me to get Jerry Douglas, the amazing bluegrass dobro player? And I went, all right, see if you can give him a shout. Here's his email address. And he was like, yeah, no problem, man. And he got involved with it. Julie Fowlis put in some beautiful lyrics. I mean, she just lives across the water from us here. But the one for us getting Nicola Benedetti, it was almost like a joke. One of my friends said, "Why don't
Well
you try
played.
Nicola Benedetti?" Like,
Well
all
played.
right, we'll try it and see what happens. And she just came back and said, "Absolutely no problem. I've just got to check it with the record company, and we'll take it from there." And that was it. And we also got Sharon Shannon, one of Ireland's leading musicians, as well, involved in it. So it really was a cast of thousands. That's what it felt like to the poor guy who had to stick it together, who was Angus Lyon, who's down there in Bigger. He's got a studio and he got all these pieces of music sent in, some at the same time signature, some just slightly out, and he had to edit it all together and put it in together and mix it. So his job was monumental. And then Stuart
Campbell.
Campbell had to put it all together in a video, which was again with Jason Clark from Genius Brewing. You know, those guys put that video together. It was all their idea how they pieced it together in that beautifully shot barn in at Stuart's farm. Um, Incredible amount of work by those guys behind the scenes that so many people don't think about.
It's beautiful. It's one of those things I go to in moments. I'm not sure there's a particular moment, but just every now and then, I'm going to put Doddie's Dream on, and it is uplifting, isn't it? And it can take you to a place. I don't know where it takes you, but it takes you somewhere. And then when it's finished, I'm either going to listen to it again or I can go on with my day and things are a wee bit better.
That's good. I mean, music can do so many different things for you. There's on this new download, there's actually another version of the tune, which is a slightly slower, and it's just fiddle and accordion on the back of it. So the new download, you get both of the versions, and it feels it's more reflective the other piece. And that again was just myself and Angus playing about in the studio, and it came out in a different kind of format. It was later at night that we'd recorded. But the uplifting one, when we've done that, we played it at the Usher Hall for St Andrew's night. We just played Caledonia with Dougie MacLean. And he thought, well, how do you follow that? And we went into Doddie's Dream, and there's 1,500 people on their feet, all giving
Yeah,
it da 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 da. It was quite incredible.
it's stunning. Just that, but those moments must make the hair on the back of your neck stand up.
They do, in particular, because you never know how a bit of music is going to affect people. I never know where the piece of music comes from in my head either. It is purely luck. It's in there somewhere and it just comes out in your fingers, you hope. And you never know if you're going to write another piece of music ever again. You just don't know. It kind of comes and goes like that. But to actually have a piece of music that's going to make a difference, hopefully, to people in the future, that's it's great to have that.
Here's the thing, right? I think you're the first person I'm going to say this to. We're talking about a guy that we all loved, and he died just very, very recently. And listen to us talk about inspiration, feelings. We're smiling. It's a funny old thing, this, isn't it?
It's a really strange one. I mean, everybody knew what the outcome was going to be. There was no surprise, but the 6 years that Doddie managed to fight that, I think it was the most inspiring battle I've ever seen from any human being, and his cheerfulness in the face of complete adversity is an inspiration for all of us. I mean, God, we moan about, oh, there's the snow on or something. You're thinking, get a grip of yourself. Any problems we have can be overcome. And we did a little video that there's that little quote in the back of his book. I hope you've enjoyed it. If life gives you lemons, slice them up and put them in a large G&T. Absolutely, that is the way we've got to approach life. And I mean, life has been pretty miserable for a lot of people recently, and I think a bit of Doddie Weir attitude is, if you could teach it in schools, that would be a
Oh,
course I think we'd all sign up for.
yeah, bottle it and put it into a perfume bottle, and we'd all be spraying it all over the place. But Bruce, you're one of those inspirations. You've jumped on this. Doddie fought a battle and he inspired. But the thing I find, and the thing I'm reflecting on a lot recently, is how many people joined. I've no association with it. I've been very lucky. I touch wood as I say all these things, that Doddie's kind of my guy with MND. But the more people I speak to, oh, my aunt had that, my uncle, I knew something, my
Mm-hmm.
best. it's touched more people than I ever realised or imagined. But Doddie's been part of this community now for a wee while, and we've found other people that were actually there before, but we needed this beacon, and along came bloody the biggest, tallest, most outrageous beacon you could possibly imagine. And you must be approached for a lot of causes, but this one's dear to you.
Yeah, I mean, this one, again, like you, when Juice Van de Hazen was, that was announced, that was the first time I'd heard of the disease. And since then, since this whole thing has come up, I found loads of people have been in touch with us on our Facebook and our Twitter and our concerts, people coming up. In fact, there was a ukulele band in Cambridge who asked if they could record the tune because one of their members had just passed away from it. And they put together a beautiful video of it. Sharon Shannon, the Irish accordion player who's in the video as well, her mother passed away from it. And again, it's just one of those diseases that wasn't talked about. And until I think Doddie took it to the world the way he did, nobody realised just how horrific it was.
Yeah, Bruce, I love it. It's an amazing piece of music. Come on and give me the rallying call. We're getting really close to Doddie'5. We've got this release. There's other things happening before Christmas and before we hit that January the 1st starter's pistol. Give us that rallying call. Get people to sign up. Get people to buy it. Go. You're the man.
Yeah, well, I think if anyone can, just obviously you can buy it as many times as you want. We need it downloaded on Spotify. It's got to be played millions of times on Spotify before it gets anywhere. So if you've got your Spotify on, put it on loop and play it for the day. You don't have to listen to it all day. It just helps. It helps build it up, and we might be able to get some of that money out of Spotify and manage to help the cause. But it's if you're feeling a little bit worried about going out in the cold, you're not feeling like you're ready to go for a run or out for a cycle in January, stick the track on, get yourself out there. It's the Scottish version of the Rocky theme tune. That's what we're looking at.
Yes, there's the tagline. It's the Scottish Rocky theme tune. I love it. And Bruce, you're signing up for your team. Come on, give them a plug. Otherwise, I'll have Morven up me complaining.
The Northern Midlands. In fact, 4 of the band did the Great Scottish Run in Glasgow and did that for Doddie as well. They raised $3,000 from that, and I can tell you 1 or 2 of them had not come anywhere close to 10 kilometers before in their lives. So that was a major feat for them. But yeah, we're all signing up for it. Blazing Fiddles and a whole load of other traditional musicians I know are getting involved in it. So it's a good way to offset the damage we do to ourselves at Celtic Connections Festival. So yeah, and I think we might well be at the Glasgow Edinburgh game on the 23rd as well. I think we're going to be playing at that. So
nice, awesome. Well, another reason to go to the Weege for that game. Bruce, I love speaking to you. You're one of those people that fills me up, and your music is just absolutely stunning. What you've done with Doddie's Dream is absolutely a dream. It's a beautiful thing, and I hope people download it and take your message. I look forward to seeing you soon, my man. Thank you so much for joining us.
Great to speak to you, Bruce. Cheers for now.
I think he's one of my favourite Bruces. I think he's one of my favourites. Absolutely stunning guy. And he's making something happen. So please, if you can, download it now. Buy it a couple of times. Buy it and send it to somebody. Put it on a loop on Spotify. Have your phone on silent as you go into a meeting, and it'll play half a dozen times. And it all adds up and helps to raise funds and awareness for us to find a cure for this thing called MND, all in the name of the big man, Doddie'5. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I look forward to seeing you at Doddie'5. I look forward to humming that tune along with you somewhere at some point. Until then, look after yourself and each other. My name is Bruce Aitchison. My happiness is egg-shaped, all for Doddie'5.